Welcome everyone, my name is Josh Montana, member of the East Hartford Patriotic Commission, and thank you for coming to our Memorial Day night here at the high school. I want to introduce the person who will be giving opening remarks, Melody Wilson, Chair of the East Hartford Patriotic Commission.
Welcome everyone. The Patriotic Commission, in conjunction with East Hartford High School, welcomes our active duty and veteran service members and families here to honor, remember, and celebrate these lives living and past. Memorial Day is an American holiday. Originally known as Decoration Day, it originated following the Civil War and became a federal holiday in 1971. It honored Union soldiers who died during the Civil War. After World War I, it included all men and women who died in war or any other military action. Let us acknowledge and welcome our special guests. Our mayor, her staff, the congressmen, senators, the Board of Education, town council, police and fire departments. Throughout this program, there is a list of people and organizations that made this event possible. Your programs were designed and created by veteran and East Hartford High School band director, Candace Bustamante. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as Vice Chair of the Patriotic Commission, Tim Siggia, leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's now my honor to introduce our guest speaker, Lieutenant Craig Jordan, former principal of East Hartford High School.
please, everybody be seated. I would like to start out this evening by asking all our veterans to please stand. Everybody in the audience, the veterans. This weekend, all across our nation, obviously we're going to be having programs and services, programs such as this, and concerts, and picnics, laying of wreaths and placing flags on cemeteries all across our country. All to remember those who paid the ultimate price and sacrifice for our country and our way of life. And I applaud all of you who organized this program this evening. I think this is marvelous, and I think it's a kickoff to a weekend that we can be very, very proud of. So I applaud those who put this evening's activities together. History shows us from the very beginning of the birth of our country all the way to Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan that we were presently struggling with. Our veterans, their service, their sacrifice has kept America the land of the free. And I think it's so important that we continue that message, and we send that message from generation to generation to generation. Just as I can very vividly sit down and recall talking to my grandfather, a World War I vet, as he would wrap and bandage his wound, which he brought back. World War II, learned much in terms of growing up in Mayberry Village, a housing project after World War II developed, and talking to my father's generation. And then Vietnam came, and that became our generation. So we go from generation to generation to generation, and I think it's very, very important that we pass along those traditions. I see it every day as a veterans coordinator at Goodwin College presently, dealing with the post 9/11 veterans, Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom from Afghanistan. The veterans who are now there at the school taking their educational programs and classes. This town is what I call and refer to as blue-collar America, and it always has been. This is such a town rich in tradition and military tradition and history. It's just incredible that every single day when I was principal of East Hartford High School, I used to drive by Bicentennial Square, which is up here, right over the overpass, and connects Forbes Street to what I refer to as Scotland Road. As I used to drive by there every single day coming to the high school, I'd just look to my right and I'd see the 19 giant maple trees there, representing the 19 fallen comrades from Vietnam, the residents of East Hartford. You know, lives of friends, neighbors, classmates, and family. It's a very special place. And I hope each and every one of you can join us on Sunday at 6 o'clock when we were there, and we have our celebration and our ceremony there at Bicentennial Square. It is a very special place. I was just coming back from a tour, from a mission, and landed in Da Nang in Vietnam. And there I was met by my commanding officer, and usually that doesn't happen. So I knew something was up. And he pulled me aside and he just told me the news of my cousin, Franny Sullivan, who had passed away, who was killed. He was a helicopter pilot in Vietnam. And it was such a blow. It was incredible. When I went to East Hartford High School here, not here, I should say, on Burnside Avenue, I wore the number 4 when I played baseball and basketball. That was his number. And he was a hero of mine, and someone to this day I still think of on a regular basis. But I was granted permission to escort his body back to East Hartford. Now, it doesn't happen too often that you're given that privilege. And what part of the commitment was a commitment on my part to make sure I returned. I had 3.5 weeks left of my tour. And I said, absolutely, I will do everything I have to do. It's an honor and privilege to be able to come back here and fulfill, you know, the family's wishes. I remember talking to my mother when I got back here at East Hartford, and she was so adamant about me staying and not returning. And I said, Ma, I understand where we're coming from. I said, but you have to understand where I'm coming from also. I had made a commitment, I made a pledge, and I also made a commitment to my commander of my platoon that when I'm going to go back there, I'm going to make sure I have everything I can possibly do to make sure that my replacement is someone that I know is going to take care of my men. And I think it was a military type of, for those veterans out there, I think you understand where I'm coming from in terms of that commitment. And that's why it's so important to have programs like this. And we gather as a community to remember those who had passed in securing our freedoms. And I think it's so important that we continue to do that. And I think it's so important that we teach and we work with the next generation. One of the things I've accomplished and we tried to do over at Goodwin College is we have an essay contest. And it really dealt with to our local high schools. And the theme being what Memorial Day means to me. And it was quite obvious in reading the essays, and some of them were spectacular. In particular, I don't know if any of you students out there know Hannah Rivera. There's a student here. Exceptional, exceptional essay. She was one of the essay winners. But it just brought to light the fact that they really hadn't thought too much about Memorial Day or what it meant until they started the assignment and the project, and then started reaching out to their parents and getting stories from their parents about grandparents and aunts and uncles who served. And all of a sudden, Memorial Day came to life for them and became, you know, meaning. And I think it's very, very important that we continue that, and we continue that tradition with the next generation as we move it on. And I just once again like to thank everybody who put this activity together. And I think that I'm looking forward to seeing everybody also on Sunday night as we spend some time up at Bicentennial Square. And you know, I've nothing more I can actually say. Just God bless America, and God bless our fallen heroes as well as our present duty individuals who are in the military, who are serving, and those who have served. And thank you very much.
Now I'd like to ask Reverend Jackie Trotter-Dodd to come up here for an invocation.
Thank you. It's an honor for me to be here today with you all, and I can tell you I got so excited about the band because I have 4 sons, and 2 of them are always in band as well as sports, and I was over in the corner just jumping up and down when the band began to play. So let us pray, because that is so important in our lives. Everlasting God, God of creation, called by many names, we ask that you be with us as we lift up in prayer this event and this weekend, which is a very special time for us to remember those. Lord, we come before you because we're remembering our country's heroes, both dead and alive. We purpose to make this weekend, not just this event, but the events that will follow, a time to show honor to the men and the women who sacrifice and have helped to keep us safe and to keep us free. We acknowledge their bravery, and we want to recognize that sacrificial contribution that each of them have made. So stir our hearts, Lord, with patriotism and thankfulness as we think about our country's treasures lying engraved beneath our nation's soil and also the soils of the lands far away. May we be inspired to be more abundant in our giving to community as we commemorate their lives of service to others. They gave the ultimate sacrifice, and we respectfully remember them at this time. We lift up the families and the friends of those who gave their lives also for their country. And we ask you to minister to the deep longing of those who grieve, those who have been those persons that have been supportive, the organizations that have been supportive. And this time, this organization that is recognizing the importance of what has been done by so many courageous men and women. And as we observe this time that we have set aside for this purpose, we want to again respectfully honor all, and presently who are serving in our armed forces. And may they feel our appreciation, and may they be powerfully protected this day and every day going forth. We pray these things as children of a merciful and giving God. Amen.
Thank you once again to Reverend Trotter. And now I'd like to present Captain Michael Vaughn to present the Iron Hornet. Oh.
Can everybody hear me okay without the microphone? Excellent. Hey, thanks to the staff of East Hartford High School, the fellow soldiers that came out and helped us out, and of course the students. This year I'm able to present a check for $1,900. Who's going to get the big check? He will not bounce.
Once again, a big round of applause to the East Hartford High School for raising so much money for the single veterans. And now I'd like to present to you our feature event, the Sound of New England a cappella choir, who will be, of course, doing a barbershop-style presentation of patriotic songs. Thank you.
You can talk while we're getting on.
We're just in awe.
Okay. And now you can stop.
Good evening. Sound of New England Chorus is delighted to be part of East Hartford's Memorial Day celebration. Sound of New England Chorus is a member of Sweet Adelines International, a worldwide educational music organization for women. We sing a cappella in the barbershop style. And we invite you now to sit back and relax and enjoy our 4-part harmony tribute to America.
So much to celebrate, let's start the music now. Join the crowd, don't hesitate, we can show you how. We're gonna celebrate and raise a little dust. No debate, we've got a date, your presence is a must. Must be time to celebrate, that's what we're here to do. Jump the gate, cause we can't wait to celebrate with you. Come on, let's celebrate, celebrate, good times. Come on, got so much to celebrate, let's celebrate tonight. Celebrate, good times, come on. Join the crowd and celebrate, we celebrate tonight. There's a party on right now. A celebration to last throughout the year. So bring your good times and laughter too. We're gonna celebrate your party with you. Come on now, celebration. Come on, let's all have celebration. Gonna have a good time. Don't make me got a date, tell her that's why I'm here to stay. Here's the date, it's celebration time. Slipping away, sitting on a pillow, waiting for a night to fall. A girl in a dream, sitting on a pillow. This is the night to go to Liberty Ball. Dress up tonight, why be lonely? You'll stay home and you'll be lonesome. Why be lonely? Celebrate, celebrate, dance to the music. 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 Celebrate, celebrate, come on, come on, come on, come on, celebrate now.
This Monday, the United States will celebrate Memorial Day. It's a day that many Americans think of as the official start to summer, marked by barbecues, picnics, and relaxing with friends and family.
One, two, three. Sweet day,
is a very important holiday, established to give us a time to honor the men and women who have served in the armed forces of the United States of America. It is a day for nostalgia and remembrance.
Everything was ours. We were so in love. Once upon a time, a boy with moonlight in his eyes held his hand in mine and said, he loved me so, but that was once upon a time, very long ago. So long ago, once upon a hill we sat beneath the willow tree, counting all the stars and waiting for the dawn. But that was once upon a time. Now the tree is gone. Tree is gone. How the leaves rustled in the air. How we always laughed as though tomorrow wasn't there. We were young, didn't have a care where did it go? Once upon a time, the world was sweeter than we knew. Everything was ours. How happy we were then, but somehow, once upon a time, never comes this way again.
Music is a great distractor. The USO was formed to take our service people away from reality for just a little while. Bob Hope, Bing Crosby, and the Andrews Sisters will forever be remembered for performing a valuable service to our country, not being in uniform.
Things look swell, things look great. Gonna have the whole world on the plate. Starting here, starting now. Honey, everything's coming up roses. Clear the decks, clear the tracks. We've got nothing to do but relax. Blow a kiss, take a bite.
something will happen. Faith is believing something will happen. Courage is making something happen. This has already been said tonight, but it needs to be said again. If you have served or are presently serving in the armed forces, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you, everyone.
Winston Churchill said, "We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give." So to those of you, I am one, to those of you who enrich your lives by reaching out with a helping hand, an open heart, or a listening ear, we salute you.
to get you through life's toughest times. Just hearing the first few notes of a song from your past can magically transform your day.
One, two. Well, now the world's alright, everything's swinging, long as I'm singing my song, Now just as long as I'm singing, there's a bell up in my brain that's ringing, making a crazy ding dong, and if this band don't desert me, then there's nothing in the world can hurt me, long as I'm singing my song. Give me those trumpets with blues and Texas with the strings pizzicato and some rhythm, digging in as long as I'm singing, and the world's alright and everything's swinging, long as I'm singing my song, making music is more to me than a pleasure, 'cause me and music, we go together like notes in a measure, long as I'm singing, then the world's alright and everything's swinging, long as I'm singing mine, long as I'm singing mine, long as I'm singing mine, long as I'm singing my song.
Well, you see, we have this little chart down there. It says what we sing and who talks. It didn't say my name, and I'm supposed to be talking. So, hi, how are you all? I do want to say to you that it is such a pleasure for us to be here tonight, and you are such a great audience. We do want to let you know that we rehearse really close to here, just right over in West Hartford. Okay, so West Hartford, East Hartford, they can't be too far from each other. They just can't be. All right, so on Tuesday evenings at 7 o'clock in the auditorium of St. Mary Home, we have a rehearsal, and we would love to see any and all of you. Those who wear skirts probably would be a little better, but you can all come. I mean, everybody is welcome. We're having a wonderful thing this summer called Summer Sensation, and we'll be singing the last Tuesday of each month of the summer at Blueback Square. So if you want to come for a few rehearsals, stay for maybe 40 minutes and learn a song with us. You could sing with us at Blueback Square, which is kind of cool. Okay, you don't have to have a tremendous amount of experience or anything. Most of us sing in the shower. We don't have any professional singers on our risers, but we would absolutely love to have you with us. Also, and I'll put in a little plug, we do have cards and we do have flyers. If you are interested, Angie, raise your hand, and Carol, raise your hand. Those two people there, if you would like to find them, they will just give you some information. And also, if you'd like to take us home with you, we have CDs for $10, and see, that's why they don't let me talk too much.
One, two, three. Handsome face, I know a swinging place, so baby, take to the sky. Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic blues, there's a bar in Barbon Bay. Come fly with me, let's fly away, let's get away. Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru. In Llama Land, one man band and a two is flute for you.
For years after the Civil War, when people decorated with flowers the graves of fallen soldiers, Memorial Day was called Decoration Day. So we'd like to thank the students of East Hartford High School for carrying on this long-standing tradition with your time and effort planting flags at the grave sites of East Hartford's veterans.
Before our last number, and Jen, you come over because you're going to be right after me. Before the last number, I would like to thank you so much, first of all, for inviting us. It has been an honor to be part of this. It's such a wonderful celebration, and it is about so much more than picnics and hot dogs and hamburgers and so on. That's fun, but the meaning of the holiday is this. And so we thank you so much for having us on your show.
The American flag does not fly because the wind moves past it. The American flag flies from the last breath of each military member who has died protecting it.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies,
thank you for the Sound of New England chorus. You guys are amazing. One last round of applause for them. And now I'd like to present our East Hartford's finest citizens and former teacher at East Hartford High School, if I'm not mistaken, Congressman John Marson. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. It's always great to be home. To be home in East Hartford. This year, 50 years ago, in June, I graduated from East Hartford High School. Three of my classmates who graduated with me, Kenny Levine, Alex Brown, and Jimmy Sincere, were all full of hope in 1967. And they went off, as so many of their fellow Americans have throughout our history, to serve their country in a far-off place that Lieutenant Jordan described, called Vietnam. This Memorial Day, they won't be picnicking and celebrating. Because as Lincoln noted, they paid the full measure of devotion. They gave their lives for you and I in this great country and all that it represents and is. This is a solemn weekend. It's heartening to see so many veterans here from this hometown, so many whom I went to high school with in this town, East Hartford. I heard the Secretary of Education say, well, let's say an uninformed comment. Let me say respectfully, Secretary DeVos, you do not know East Hartford. But as our superintendent said, we'd like to invite you here. I extend that invitation to the Secretary to have her come to this community where veterans have fought and served, who went to this high school, where the people who serve this community, who teach at this high school and across this nation, are committed to the ideals that Thomas Jefferson said long ago. In order to have a democracy and a republic that will survive, we need an educated public, a knowledgeable public, and that's why we need public education. We do not need around public education. We need to lift up all students, especially those in our public schools. So we invite you here, Secretary DeVos. And you know what? We're going to make her an offer she can't refuse. We're going to take her to Augie and Ray's. This is a solemn weekend, and as Craig Jordan said, I hope all of you will join the mayor and members of the board and council and the Patriotic Commission at Bicentennial Square. Now that, as you all know, is where we celebrated the town's 200th anniversary and where we pay special tribute to our Korean and Vietnam veterans and veterans throughout our history who have served this great country. There's great pride in this community, especially for people who have served. And I want you to know that back in 1967, there was something called the draft. Anyone could be called into service. Today, we are a nation of 330 million people. 330 million people. And less than 1% of the nation serves in our armed services, including our reserves and National Guard, including the Peace Corps, AmeriCorps, VISTA, the Corporation for National and Community Service, City Year, Teach America, Senior Corps, less than 1%. If we're keeping in the spirit of our forefathers, and what Washington and Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin and others observed, it's a republic as long as you can keep it. In a nation of 330 million people, can we ask of only 1% of our fellow Americans to serve? President Kennedy understood that. A World War II hero himself. Monday, May 29th, Memorial Day, would be President Kennedy's 100th birthday. Many of you in this audience have only the vision and recollection of that youthful, charismatic, intelligent, graceful, inspirational leader of our country. He will remain eternally young as the nation he so believed in, even as we grow and mature. Like the veterans in this room and those who commit to public service will do for it. And it remains as important and as true as it ever has. On Memorial Day, as we pause and reflect and honor those who have given their lives to this country, let us honor the legacy of President Kennedy by committing to serve. General McChrystal said it best, you don't have to wear a uniform to serve your country, as important as wearing that uniform is. But you can serve in several capacities. Students already participated in some service by doing the simple gesture of placing those flags this weekend. But there's much more that this nation requires. As the President said, in the long twilight struggle, we face still the common enemies of tyranny, poverty, and hunger, and war itself. In order to make America great, Americans need to serve. Thank the people this weekend who have served, and be inspired and pick up that torch that President Kennedy handed down to us and serve your nation as well. God bless you. God bless America. Join us on Sunday evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to recall back to the stage Reverend Jackie Trotter-Dove of Wesley Memorial Methodist Church to do the benediction and moment of silence.
Before I do the benediction, I was encouraged by my friends to share something with you. I'm very grateful to Melody. She's been an incredible friend to me since I've been here in Connecticut. I've only been here a little bit less than a year. And I'm just blessed, I feel, to be here. So what I want to share with you is that I am the daughter of a veteran, and I am the mother of a veteran. And right now, this week, we do not know where my son is. It's been a difficult week for us. We're looking for him. We don't know where he is. And it just reminds me of some things that we really need to be cognizant of, the way that we honor and treat our veterans when they come back home because of the sacrifices and what they have done for us. And so that comes home to me very personally right now, because I do not know where my 37-year-old son is. He's lost, he just fell through the system, and he's on the West Coast somewhere. And so I ask for your prayers in this moment of silence for not just him, but for all of our veterans that need us to remember them, to support them, to honor them for what they have done and continue to do for our freedom in this United States of America. So hear the benediction. The duty of our veterans, past and present, is the fiber of the word freedom, and is stronger by our recognition of service and sacrifice. We honor that service and sacrifice today, and should carry it forward for our children to honor. Freedom and democracy are the result of all the most honorable things that people like you and me and others, our sons, our daughters, our parents, have done to keep this democracy the way it is. An incredible country. We don't need to make it great again. It's already great. We just need to keep it great. So this is a time when we honor those, and we take this time to also reflect on what we can do to continue to help to support our veterans everywhere. Today is for remembering, this weekend is for remembering, and to stand in honor of them, to walk in their path of duty, to remember the cost and hold in our hearts the cause of freedom. So I ask that the Lord bless you and keep you, the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you and lift you up in his countenance and give you peace. I love that song that was sung about peace, because we need peace. Peace not only in our hearts, but peace in our world, peace with each other and our relationships with each other. And let us just take a moment of silence to pray. Amen. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please rise for playing of taps. Taps tonight will be performed by Dominic Migliori and Alice Brito. Thank you all for coming. But before we close and we all depart, I would actually like to recall to the stage Captain Michael Vaughn and Mark Rivard, Commander of the Civil Americans, for a real Iron Heart presentation. I'm sorry I kind of messed up on the program. It's my mistake. But I want to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. Mayor LeClaire, Congressman Larson, my fellow members of the Patriotic Commission, and members of the Town Council and from the state delegation who arrived, and of course the citizens of the town of East Hartford. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for making this a success.
I'd like to thank everybody that participated in this fund for raising this amount of money. It will go to good use to all the disabled American veterans in your city. Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen. There will be refreshments served out in the hall. And thank you once again for coming.
Oh, no, that's cool. I love this event.
That's okay.
September 10th. We're on September 10th.
Oh, okay.